Welcome, everyone, to Hunters Bay Radio and exclusive coverage of the Ironman Muskoka Canada race that's coming up on August 30th. This is our weekly Ironman show, telling you everything that you need to know about the upcoming Ironman and all its wondrous glory that it will be. Today we're focusing on volunteers, the beauty of volunteering, the fun of volunteering, why it's important to volunteer, and we have three very, very, very special guests in Susan Love, Lauren Valliere, and Ginny Bjorkqvist, and they're going to tell us a little bit about why they volunteer. So, hello, ladies.
Hello. Hi.
I'm going to start off with Susan. Susan, what kind of events have you volunteered with in the past?
I have volunteered for the 70.3 for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have also volunteered for any triathlons that have been run within the Muskokan community and outside throughout Ontario. I am currently a timing captain for the Ironman and also for the 70.3, which is July 5th, and the Ironman, which is August 30th.
Yes.
It's a big job.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, that's really important. And what is it about volunteering for these triathlons and these events that you really enjoy, Susan?
There's a thrill in being a volunteer. There is a lot of work that's involved, but dependent upon what you decide to do, if you wish to volunteer, it can be a short period of time that you volunteer, a couple of hours. It could be a whole day, where you get to watch these athletes perform, and when they perform, they are absolutely amazing.
Nice. Very nice. I'm going to switch over to Lauren and Ginny. And Lauren and Ginny, what grades are you in?
10. Grade 10, yeah.
Both in grade 10. Yeah. Now, that's very cool that our youth are helping out and volunteering with some events that are coming through. And other than, your mom making you, Lauren, why did you decide to volunteer with these Ironman events?
I think it's just a great way to get your volunteer hours and get involved in the community as well. And not just that my mom made me, but it's a really fun way to be a part of something great.
Nice. And Ginny, how did you get involved with this?
Well, Colleen kind of dragged me into it as well.
Oh, her mom made you do it.
Yes, I was the supporting friend. But I did come to love volunteering with the Ironman. It's an amazing experience and very impassioning to watch the athletes do their race.
Cool. And what roles are you guys doing? Start with Lauren.
I have done all different roles. Like, ever since I was a kid, I've done all sorts of things. So I've helped out on, we've used our boat and had lifeguards on it, and I've done water stations and registration and packing the bags for the athletes and getting the food ready and cleaning up different rooms and stuff and just all sorts of things. It's a great way to just
now,
get
sticking
involved.
with you, Lauren, since you've done so much, what is your favorite role that you've played so far?
I'd probably say the registration time. Yeah. It's just really fun. There's a lot of great people that do it, and it's just really fun to meet all sorts of people from all over the world, not just in Muskoka. There's people that come from all over Canada and just all over, just great people. And registration, you kind of get a chance to talk to them and meet them and find their stories, and especially with the athletes too, because you really get to meet them one-on-one and find out their stories.
Nice. And Ginny, what are you going to be doing?
Well, I've helped out with registration in the past as well, but I've also done the water station, so passing out water and the gummies and protein to the athletes as they run by.
Yes.
And that is a great volunteer job because you can get involved with say you have a sports team, your whole sport team can sign up, and it's a good team building because you're all working together and helping these athletes as they run along. So
and it's not a difficult task just giving out them water, but it's really fun to do that.
And you get to cheer on the athletes as they're coming by, and because you're not Susan's timing, so she has to be really on the ball and always focused on her job kind of sense, right? Where your jobs have been more you're able to socialize a little more. And
it's not as to the
hardcore.
Point.
No, I mean new people, like you said, Lauren.
And
were you part of a sports team or something else, like raising some funds, or what were you part of, Ginny?
Well, I know soccer teams in the past, they've signed up and helped out. When I was on Team Ghana. Our whole team, we signed up and we were all there helping out.
Gotcha.
So it's a good way to build relationships within different programs and whatnot while still helping out with the Ironman.
And just so everyone knows, Team Ghana is a Me to We program run by Vanessa Taylor over at Huntsville High School, where they go every year and they bring a bunch of students, well-deserving students, who raise funds to help with their trip, and they go help build homes, schools, and everything else. So if you have a not-for-profit organization that wants to help out, get a hold of the Ironman, and sure, you can jump on one of the water stations as well as a fundraising opportunity for your group. And I just got handed a note from General Manager Mike Malone that says sport clubs can get money back from the Ironman Foundation when they help out. And so that's kind of what I was just alluding to, is you can raise some funds for your various organizations.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to Susan, because she's been suspiciously quiet in the corner. So, Susan, with timing, tell me a little bit about the importance of that role and what's involved with it.
The role actually begins at 5:30 in the morning, as the swimmers are entering into the water, and it's important to have someone there to make sure that all the athletes that are participating have their time chip. Okay. If they don't have their time chip, then someone is there to give them another time chip so that they're not going to be disqualified from the race. Okay. Then the swimmers finish their 2-kilometer swim. They get out of the water, and there's another volunteer there to make sure none of the athletes have lost their time chip in the water. Okay. If they've lost their time chip in the water, we give them a new one. Then they move through from the transition from the swim to the bike. And in the bike, once again, there's someone or a couple people there checking the cyclists to make sure that they have their time chips. That's a key. And final transition is when the runners come into the finish line, which is the most exciting part of the day. And you watch these athletes who have gone for 6, 7, 8 hours to try and complete this race, and I'm talking 70.3, not the Ironman, which is double. Yes. There is such a sense of accomplishment in the eyes of these athletes, and they come from all areas of life. There are professional athletes, but there are people like you and me who are trying to compete this race. And when they cross that finish line, there are people there to greet them. My job is to make sure that we have their place recorded and their time recorded, so that it supports the computer system on the time chip. And that is it's a pretty exciting time.
Oh yeah. Now tell me a little bit about that end, because I know that, whether it's the first or the last, like the cheers are almost equal.
Oh,
you
yes.
know what I mean? And tell me a little bit what it's like knowing that, everyone sticks around and supports even that very last athlete coming through.
They do. There is a greeting team at the finish line. There are all the crowds around the finish line, and when somebody crosses, everybody claps, everyone applauds, everyone congratulates, and the athlete, exhausted as they are, is very grateful and appreciative. Yeah. On many occasions when I volunteered, when athletes have run by me, dependent upon where I'm volunteering, they'll always thank me and say, thank you for volunteering, because without the volunteers, they would not have been able to do what they were doing that day. Awesome. So it's really important.
That's amazing. Yeah. And, don't forget, there are lots of things. I'm going to speak to the public now, ladies, for a second. There are so many things you can volunteer for. I mean, we're just talking about a few, and Lauren has a lot of experience with a lot of them, which we'll go into a little in depth, some of the other ones you've done after the break, which is coming up shortly. Have a word from our sponsors. And but there's so many things that the community can do, from just being a greeter around town, helping out with the buses and the transportation, helping billet athletes, helping with anything, whether it's carrying bags from one place to another, just making sure athletes are organized, water stations, registration desks, our media desk that we're going to be having set up. Basically just representing the community as a whole, whether it's Huntsville, Muskoka, everything, and just, showing them how, we're friendly, lovable people, and we're there to help, and hopefully bringing them back for another visit and their families at a later date. So, that's what we're there to do, and just show us the big smiles. And, we know we can do it. We have a wonderful community in Huntsville. We have a wonderful Muskokan community as a whole in the district. district, and we can all come together. So I'm going to throw it out once now. I'll throw it out once later. Go to www.trymuskoka.com, and there's some links to the volunteer situations. There are literally hundreds of positions that you can help out with, and check them out, sign up, register. It's one day out of your time, and what better way to help than with a huge community event where you're going to see a bunch of your friends and family out there anyways, having a good time. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here on Hunters Bay Radio, and we'll be right back with the Ironman Show. Welcome back to the Ironman Show, exclusively on Hunters Bay Radio. Here with me today are three very special guests, Susan Love, Lauren Valliere, and Ginny Bjorkfist, and they're all volunteers. They've all volunteered in past years with the 70.3 and Susan and other ones around the area and outside. And we're just talking about, the joys of volunteering, some of the roles, how you can get involved, and why it's good to get involved. So I'm going to hit up Lauren now because, Lauren, you mentioned earlier about all the different types of roles that you did.
Yeah, there's so many. It's
and let's talk about registration. What's involved with, what do you have to do as a volunteer when you're helping register people?
So in registration, there's several different tables you can work at. There's the first one, which kind of tells the athletes where to go, and the first booklet of kind of the athletes, just things they need to know. Mm-hmm. And then you get the different bracelets. You go to the next station, get different bracelets and different food bracelets and everything to get your food the next day, and everything in the package is all set up by the volunteers and I'll explain to the athletes, and then they get to go to the next station and get the bags that we've packaged for them, which have different food components and protein for the athletes. And then they go to the next station and get their ankle chips, which keep the timing, and then they're off. So that's registration.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we've discussed, timing. We've discussed water stations.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed a bit about registration. What are some of the other roles you did? And just, go over them a bit. What's some of the other stuff you've done?
So if anyone who has a boat, you can just be an easy volunteer. You go out on your boat, you get a lifeguard who volunteers, and you pretty much just go and park your boat out on the water and have a lifeguard with you, and you get to talk to them and meet some really great people that way. And if any athletes need help, you bring your boat over and you can help them. Even if it's just you're donating your boat and your time, it's a great contribution, and it's not hard. Or
it's a fun day on the water.
Yeah, it's a fun day on the water, yeah. So there's those. Transition zones is just a really great way to help out and move athletes' clothes and bags and move their bikes and get all their stuff in the right areas, and that really helps the athletes. And the best part about it is their athletes are always thanking you. They always say, thank you so much for doing this, because without the volunteers, the Ironman wouldn't happen.
Nice. Very nice. Well said, Lauren. And she's only in grade 10 and has the whole world ahead of her. Ginny, I made reference to the fact that you guys are in grade 10. You're in high school. Mm-hmm. Ginny, tell me about why it's important for our youth in our community to get involved with events like, the triathlons and the Ironmans, and why they should.
Well, first of all, it's a really great and easy way to get volunteer hours, which everyone knows you need to complete high school.
It's good.
So it's really fun because you can go out and have all your friends with you and volunteer. Volunteering with the Ironman, it's a great experience. You're outside having a good time with your friends, better than any other experience I can compare to. Also, volunteering with the Ironman, you get a real inside look on the athlete's life and the struggles they go through to complete this race, and it's really inspiring. It's inspiring to take on a more healthy lifestyle once you see these athletes completing this race and how active and healthy they are and happy with themselves once they finish. So it's just a really inspiring experience and a great way to meet new people. As Lauren mentioned, you meet people from all over, as we have athletes coming in from everywhere, and also just to have fun with your friends and volunteer.
Excellent. Well said. I'm going to move over to Susan again. Thank you. You guys are great. Susan, tell me a little bit about specifically, how many volunteers you need and what you're looking for as far as the timing crew.
I need a lot of volunteers. The 70.3 is not as demanding as the Ironman is, and the reason the Ironman is more demanding is because the race starts at 5:30 in the morning and doesn't end till after midnight at night. So you have to establish shifts of timers and shifts of people in different areas that I explained earlier. You want to volunteer. I am looking for more volunteers for timing, and if you wish to volunteer, you just need to go on the website trymuskoka.com and follow the links, and you can select where you'd like to volunteer. If you wish to help with the timing, check on timing, and they will communicate with me and let me know that you're on my team, and then I will allocate you as to where you would be the best used for us.
Excellent. And that goes for any volunteers for any position.
Exactly.
TryMuskoka.com. Hit the links. That'll hook you up. And there's a lot of information there about the 70.3, about the Ironman and the full Ironman, the double the distance Ironman, 140-something kilometers, right? 180 kilometers? Oh, 180 kilometers.
No, for the 70.3,
yes,
the athletes swim 2 kilometers.
Yes.
They bike 90 kilometers.
Yes.
They run 21.
Okay.
So the full Ironman is double that. So they swim 4 kilometers,
180.
bike 180, and run 42. Huge feat.
Wow. I'm not signing up for that. But I'll love to watch those who do. So we're going to finish it up for this week. I want to thank again Susan Love, Lauren Valliere, Ginny Bjorkfist for joining us today, telling us all about volunteers. Again, trymuskoka.com. Sign up. It'll be a fun day. You don't have to do something physical or laborious. You can do something fun and easy. Just get involved. It's a great time. So on that note, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to the Ironman Show exclusively on Hunters Bay Radio. Keep listening every week, and we'll be back with more updates. We'll have some athlete interviews coming up in the next few weeks that you'll be really interested in. It'll be really cool. And thank you again to Hunters Bay Radio for giving us the time on the air. Have a great week, everyone. Ciao.